This is exactly right.
This episode is supported by FX's The Shards, a seductive drama from executive producer Ryan Murphy.
Set in 1980s Los Angeles, the series follows a group of glamorous, deeply entangled high school seniors drawn into a life of wealth, beauty, parties, and excess.
At its center is Brett, whose reality begins to unravel when the arrival of a new student coincides with a series of mysterious murders.
FX's The Shards premieres August 5th on FX and Hulu.
Goodbye.
Capture your favorite summer feeling with Pandora Jewelry.
Discover a collection inspired by the sunshine, freedom, and moments that make the season unforgettable.
From sun-kissed metals to personalized pieces ready to be engraved with your summer mantra.
Each design moves with you from beach days to golden nights and every memory in between.
Shop Pandora Jewelry's new summer collection in-store or online at pandora.net and let your summer unfold. Goodbye.
Sometimes the hardest part of therapy is just getting started.
For real, which is why having help that's flexible, accessible, and easy to fit into your life matters.
And that's exactly what Talkspace is designed for.
Talkspace therapy and psychiatry is covered by most insurers, and most insured members pay a copay of $0.
Part of the mission of Talkspace is to provide quality care that is accessible and affordable, whether or not you're insured.
Talkspace has really made it just a kind of no-brainer to try therapy. If you're nervous about talking to someone, if you're nervous about the money, if you're nervous about leaving the house, you don't have to deal with any of that. They have covered it. And for me, like, that is the best way to get into therapy. Take all the what ifs out.
You know you got to do it.
You know you do.
As a listener of this podcast, you'll get $80 off of your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com/MFM and enter promo code SPACE80.
That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/MFM and enter promo code SPACE80. Goodbye. Hello.
And welcome
To My Favorite Murder.
That's Georgia Hardstark.
That's Karen Kilgariff. This is a podcast. Welcome.
You know that because you press that little purple icon on your phone and you're listening to podcasts. So
That's right.
This is not a TV show. Don't wait for the visual part.
This isn't an audiobook. We're not going to read you a story.
No, this is nonfiction, right? Nonfiction is true.
Yes. It's all so confusing.
I remember being taught that in like 5th grade and being like, who's in charge?
Yeah.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Excuse me. How hard are you trying to make the English language?
This is that thing where like guys that play the guitar won't just show you how to make a chord with your hand. They need to talk about like all the different whatever, where it's like you could just call nonfiction's not true. This is under the same category of when am I ever going to need math in my adult life? Yes, it all goes in.
It all goes in there. The education.
Trickery.
Let us reconfigure the education system. We are just here for this.
Distinctly remember being around 10 and being like, I will now say how we're going to refer to books that are true or are not true.
Yes.
Not true is nonfiction.
Right.
True is fiction. This is how I need it to go.
Man, I fucking missed the day where they taught yours, you are, that one.
Yeah.
Or one of those, and just wasn't in elementary school and just never figured it out until high school because I just missed that fucking day of class.
Yep. That same thing happened to me with long division, which kicked off my math anxiety that became such a bad thing for me. I flunked algebra 3rd quarter of high school,
yeah, me too.
And then had to go to a hypnotist to try to relieve my math anxiety.
Wow. Who ordered that?
Pat Kilgariff. She's all about it.
She's so smart.
She got in there. But then I was like, you know, Pat, and I know that this is not, I can have math anxiety for the rest of my life and it's never truly going to impact me.
Well, at least the nuns didn't just smack it out of you. Like, at least Pat was like, let me do something that might actually work.
Let me step in and make up some dumb bullshit.
You know what I think works? Acupuncture, which it actually does.
That does work.
Yeah.
That's ancient.
It's ancient.
I love those ancient ones where it's like, who here, our country's been around for, 150 years? Who here is arguing ancient 5,000-year-old medical knowledge?
Yeah.
How dare?
You're smarter than 5,000 years old? Don't think so.
No.
Do you know what I'm going to do when this pandemic is over? First thing, Ayahuasca.
Can I guess?
Shit. I would have let you. What would you have guessed? What would you have guessed?
Go to the Edendale Bar and Grill.
Actually, okay, that's the first one. That's number one.
That's what you said. The first thing. Are you really going to do ayahuasca? Do an internal reset?
I think I'm going to do ayahuasca. And okay, this is a great segue into the podcast that you have fucking set me down a rabbit hole on. Oh my God.
Steven, write down the day and time and date because Georgia has taken one of my recommendations right to heart.
Immediately. This podcast called This Is Actually Happening. You text me yesterday about it and I've listened to 3 episodes already. And last night I was listening to an episode. It's basically people's true stories of just bananas things that's happened to them in their lives.
And usually extremely negative.
Right.
Because that's the most satisfying story to hear. Somebody it's like, I won the lottery.
And then
you're like,
life change and how their lives change. I mean, it's beautiful. And it's just
incredible.
There's no narrator. It's just the person telling their story in the most beautiful way. And so the one I listened to is called What If You Enter the Void? And it's this incredible, I've never heard depression explained so beautifully and succinctly. And he goes and does ayahuasca after a lifetime of depression. And I haven't gotten to the end yet, so I don't know if it works or not, but I feel like it must. So I'm just going to do it. I totally want to do ayahuasca.
That's amazing. Well, wait, that's split off. That's 2 conversations. Okay. So let's pause on the, pause on ayahuasca because I definitely want to come back to that. But the first one. So I asked Jay actually to help me find this because I'm off Twitter, but then also I'm the worst.
Third conversation. Put a pin in that one.
Okay. That's right. This is going to go back. Steven, start making a Homeland red thread map for this conversation. Please. But, so I tried to ask, because somebody actually, this was off of the radio rental recommendation of the last podcast I recommended. I believe it was the most recent. Yeah. Somebody wrote in and said, if you like that, you're going to love This Is Actually Happening. And I really want to give you credit if you would write back in, if you'd email in, that would actually help. And don't lie. And don't try to...
We can fact check. We can just look it up.
Don't steal valor. Yeah, exactly. Oh, so the first one I listened to, because I really think the idea that people, and I wouldn't say that every person telling their story in this is a quote unquote victim in some way, but there are people who have these experiences that when you hear about them, it's so extreme. It's so bizarre. There's a guy who talks about how he was homeless. Him and his father were homeless and he was also trans. And then he gets put into a shelter because he was still underage when this was happening. And then someone at the shelter, whose name I want, puts him in touch with people who live up in the Bay Area who are also trans people. And it's like, you're welcome to come and live with us for super cheap.
Oh.
And then those people turn out to be living. It's what if you get pulled into an alternate reality, or it's called something like that, and it's one of the most upsetting. But the narrator is so incredibly strong and of his own mind the entire story.
Yeah,
where he's basically going, I just was agreeing to get so I could get out of the house. I just kept going with it, and they were literally like, everything is. The government is watching you and you're being manipulated and you have to do what we say. And all this stuff that like, I feel like a less strong person would have been so vulnerable to this concept of 2 people doing it to him, pointing out all this stuff. And like, that's how you know you're not safe and all this stuff. And he just like got super cheap rent in the city while he tried to get his degree. It's an incredible story that he got himself out of.
I don't remember where I saw this, but we posted, I shouldn't be reading comments. This is part of the social media thing, but someone commented in one of the episodes that we posted recently that were live. She said, I didn't realize that the cheap rent I got from this, when I was I didn't realize that the cheap rent I got when I lived in this random place was because I moved into a cult until Karen covered the cult at a live show and I was sitting in the audience. She also needs to write to us. She's like, I was sitting in the audience and realized that I used to live in like a cult compound because the rent was cheap. And I didn't know.
Oh my God.
Story.
Oh my God. Wait, is that the one that's like
the bakers?
Yes, I was going to say it's like it was the yellow deli or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah.
It's a study in empathy, this show. There's one that I just listened to that's a kind of a newer one that I text you holy shit, but is what if someone you love committed a monstrous crime? Did you listen to that one?
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I will, for sure.
It's unbelievable. I just can't wait to like fucking listen to all of them. It's incredible.
There's so many good ones, but the first one I sent you is called "What If It Happened in Broad Daylight," about a woman who was attacked at the bank. And it's the craziest, creepiest story. But the way she talks about how she doesn't like being treated as the quote unquote victim of this crime was really eye opening and really important to hear. That's why I always love firsthand accounts of the person that actually went through it, because they get to dictate how, you know what I mean? Like, she was talking about when it first happened, you know, they bring her into the back.
Yeah.
Her neck gets sliced with a knife.
Yeah.
And everyone around her's freaking out. And she's like, it must have been like the adrenaline or being in shock, but she didn't think anything bad happened to her.
Right.
She just knew it was kind of weird and she got moved away. And it wasn't until she saw the videotape played back for her by the cops that she goes, I felt so bad for that girl on the tape. It was completely like, it didn't happen to her.
It's a lesson of like how PTSD and how adrenaline works and how, you know, what your brain does in a panic situation. Fascinating.
And how people react to trauma or tragedy or violent situations that are not the ones it happened to, but the ones that were there. It's almost like the witnesses, her version of the story. I shouldn't, none of this is like, you know,
I haven't finished
I'm not saying it as a fact. It was fascinating to hear someone's take on what that was like to be the subject of it when that is not how she felt. And it would really bug her the way she was treated as this person that it happened to.
Yeah.
And that because the person who perpetrated the crime, they believed the person had schizophrenia, so she couldn't get answers. She was like, I just wanted to know what I did.
And there is no answer.
Caused it.
There's no good explanation as to why that happened. It's
right.
I mean, yeah, it's an incredible show. You guys should listen to it.
And it's a great thing to be able to hear people discuss their, like you say, it's like people getting to discuss the, like, say, most painful or most difficult or worst thing that's happened to them, being able to tell you they're a complete person, they're whole, they didn't get smashed apart by it. They're completely there saying, and this is what I learned. There's one woman who talks about, it was her mom joined a cult, and she kept saying, I don't want to judge it. I want to understand it. I want to know, because I know I didn't have the life she had or the experience she had, which like made me go like, whoa, like I take so much comfort in judging other people's actions. It makes me feel more grounded to judge when actually you never know the full story.
Totally.
And it's like a weird fake
or what you would do in their situation. You can, we can fucking talk about what we would do in someone else's, shoes till the fucght cows come home. But until you're really there, you have no idea, because there's so many other things at play, including your fucking, flight or fight, mode, which actually pertains to this because, and almost brings
would you find a segue
in a
weird,
your
favorite thing?
Yes, in a weird fucking circular thing. So you and I together at the same time took social media off of our phones because we
thought you were going to say we took some drug together. I was like, what?
Oh, I didn't tell you I put ketamine in your coffee? Shit. We took social media off our phones together because we both realized it was affecting us in a very negative way.
Yes.
And so I was talking to my therapist, unrelated, about fight, flight, or freeze.
Freeze, yes.
And so I was looking up who am I? What do I do? And actually it said in the context of the freeze part, which I think I do, is mindless scrolling to get yourself, you just can't move forward. And so you find something that's comforting, like taking a nap or scrolling. And so I think maybe we're so panicked and have so much anxiety about the world, what's going on today. Our fucking business life right now is, for the past 4 years has been bananas. And so this mindless scrolling, this commenting, this reading comments, and all of that is a really great way to avoid the avoid the stress that's actually happening that we just can't deal with right now.
Well, it's almost like you get to pick your own stress. So it's a control issue because it's like saying, oh, this is what I'm upset about.
I can handle this stress. Yeah.
Yep. I can be mad at this person and blame.
Here's the problem.
Yeah, totally. Also, that reminds me because there's a similar thing. I was saying, it was someone we know made a joke about me being a perfectionist. Mm-hmm. And so I actually looked up because I was like, I am nowhere near being perfect. And then I looked it up and I have it so fucking bad.
What is it? Like what?
Because I always picture like a perfectionist is like Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah,
they
it's actually like Tracy are perfect.
Flick.
Right.
And that's not it at all.
It's just, is it the trying that makes it happen?
It's the, it's unrealistic expectations and goals. And then the procrastination part is the sidelining yourself when you lose all faith. And then it's like, it's really fascinating. It's so good. I'm going to send you, I found an article in Psychology Today about it that had this really good illustration where it was like a person here, the goal set is a road that goes straight up and then it's like finish line straight up. And there's someone on the side of the road looking at their phone on one side and on the other side of the road, cutting the grass with scissors, like perfectly trimming the grass.
I'm a perfectionist, but that's not their goal at all. Oh, that makes total sense.
There's all these things about it that I just was like, oh my God, that's what it is. And then you just are always ruining your own good time with those kind of like, it'll never work. I'll never make it. I'll never be so-and-so. So it's like comparing yourself to people, all the shit everyone does.
Well, you know what the fourth F is that my therapist just told me about? I had never heard of. So you have fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, like fawning. Like telling someone how beautiful they look and being like, oh my God, you're, like to make them like you. That's the way, like the tiger's about to attack you. And you're like, you look amazing today. You're the fucking queen of the jungle. And wow, you look great. And like, that's the person's way to like make everyone like them so that they, don't get attacked.
Wow.
I know. Which I feel like I do.
Well, and also in the culture I grew up in, that's how you know who to attack. Because that's clearly fake.
Yeah. And it doesn't fucking
clearly
work for
fake.
me. And it doesn't.
It's disingenuous. It's like somebody going, just putting in the vote of I'm scared of you, which is like, great, I'll take care of that.
Remember in one of our first,
which is perfectionistic of me to be, I can't accept compliments because I know you're lying.
And in Hollywood at my old apartment during one of our first fucking couple months, and you sat down to like talk to me about a serious issue. And I was like, okay, yeah, totally. By the way, your hair looks amazing. And you were like, don't talk about my hair. This is serious. Like you specifically called me out on it. And I was like, whoa, I fucking totally do that. Where it's like, great, let me diffuse the situation real quick. Now you should like me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Which is so manipulative. It's so manipulative.
But this was before, and look, this was before I understood your background where direct, like, we're going to sit down and face to face discuss a thing is your worst nightmare. Yeah. And that is like, that's all I know.
Yeah.
Of like, no, we have to solve this right now. We're going to talk it out. We're going to put it on the table. And like, I was setting you up to be panicked. Like that approach was your
and
worst
then it didn't
approach.
Work. It didn't, my diffusion didn't work. Oh my God. We should write a book.
No, because I was like, please don't diffuse. Well, I have to tell you, it's hard enough to be saying like whatever fucking that a thing that I bet you if Steven was able to go like, you know what it was about, we'd both start laughing because it's nothing.
He has every argument on fucking on his computer.
So many. Oh, Steven, how many times he had to step out of the apartment? Yes. Not for the early days. That's what his book's going to be about. The first time I was asked to step out of the apartment and walk around Georgia's neighborhood was...
But I didn't stop with recording, so don't worry. What else? I had some...
Ayahuasca. Wait a second. Ayahuasca. Are you... In the ayahuasca category, are you fine throwing up in front of others? Because that's the thing that blows my mind.
I'm a lifelong recovering bulimic. I can fucking do this till the cow. Like
you can do it anywhere.
I have a yes, I can do it anywhere. I have no fucking issue with it.
Okay.
Some of my best friends have seen me vomit. It's like just not a thing for me. Like, and by the way, get help for your eating disorders. I'm making a joke of it, but it's serious.
Yes, for sure. No, it's not good. And also it actually can do serious damage, especially to your heart.
Oh, to your esophagus and to everything. It's not good.
So bad.
But I have an amiable gag reflex. I'm like good at this thing. It sucks to be really good at something that you just can't actually use, you know?
But there's upsides.
Like ayahuasca.
I was being dirty.
Oh,
but
Karen!
Sorry, Stephen, mark it.
No, leave it. I love it. Leave it. Steven's shaking his head. He's like, I'm not fucking taking that up.
Steven's like, what's happened to this show? What's happened to you, COVID-19?
Ayahuasca.
But I think I saw a good special about they were using ayahuasca to help treat PTSD for soldiers coming back from war and really having a hard time, and they see a lot of real change with that. So I think that could be amazing.
I think so too. And then, of course, do my research and take it very seriously, but I'm
and there's interested. 1,000 stand-up comedians who have slowly been transitioning into like ayahuasca shamans because they're so into it. Yeah. So
I'm gonna and Mark Maron, maybe we'll just take a fucking trip to the.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I know he doesn't know me, so that would be weird.
Well, that's how you get to know people.
That's fucking right. Nothing like vomiting in front of someone to really get to know them.
And then you're like, I'm sorry, it's great talking to you, but I can see the devil right now. So I have to go deal with that.
And I'm going to have to go without Vince because he's not, I'm more experimental than he is. And I heard that you see a snake. Like a lot of people see a snake and he's terrified of snakes, like to a point that's incredible. Like a snake comes on TV for a second and he loses it.
Oh, they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on his side with snakes.
I don't disagree. Let's see.
So slimy.
Oh, I wanted to talk about, let's see. I had a thing. Hold on a second.
I mean, how are you doing though, being off social media in general? Do you feel an improvement?
I feel more focused. Yeah. The first couple of days, I realized that every single thing that happens in my life and around the house and with the cats is my brain goes to, I should post that. This will be a good post. What do I post about this? That's all I think about.
Yeah.
And the mindless scrolling, of course, I'm still kind of doing it on other sites like, news sites, but it's so sad every time I like enter CNN.com into my phone where I'm just like, I just want to know what's going on. Yeah. But it's like this real kind of rickety grandpa version of getting the news. Yeah. It's so hilarious. It's like, it feels like social media feels like an intricate knot that I'm tied up in that doesn't feel good. I can't, move well, and I can't thrive when I'm tied up that way. But at the same time, it's comforting, and I've known it for so long, and it's been there for me in so many ways, and is part of my like a self-esteem boost for me that I need. But but I'm also looking for the negative stuff, and it affects me in a way that is really negative. And
it's mind blowing how the positive stuff you so easily take it for granted when people are telling you beautiful, wonderful things. And then the negative stuff can be just passing. You can tell it's just someone trying to get attention and it'll like stick in your brain.
Right.
And that's the part and it's not like I honestly don't experience that much of that. Yeah. Because I just immediately mute everyone. Yeah. I literally will, if somebody
you're better at that, then that's the thing.
I'm like, you just disqualified yourself. You disqualified yourself. So you don't get to talk to me if you're going to use that tone or like, honey, like anything that starts like that. I'm like, sorry, I'm so much older than you. Right. Goodbye.
Well, there's just no way that I can do the work that I'm doing with my therapist, which is trying to get past old like bullying and, self-esteem issues. If I keep reading comments, there's no way I can't both work on those issues that I have and let people get to me that way, which, at the same time, it just doesn't work. So I'm picking my own fucking psyche and working on that instead of social media.
Good. Great. That's so much better. And then
Meanwhile,
you can go to.
I have a can of wine at 2:30 in the afternoon right now.
So, but it's pandemic. What are you supposed to do? It's a pandemic.
So we're
doing this. You have to have some vices. We're doing this experiment of just being a little bit more off the grid in the middle of the most isolated time in our lives, which is very difficult. I mean, my thing is I realize just Twitter is a social thing for me that isn't real.
Right.
So I keep going to it like, oh, I just want to connect to some people. And it's like, then text your friends.
Right.
Don't.
You're like, I want to stay in the loop. It is a totally different thing for comedians though. And like, I do think so.
But it is you're so true. You're so right about the dopamine hit of interaction, which is good and fine if you can keep the brackets around it. Yeah. But if it then begins to spill in because someone decided to be kind of like, bitchy or critical to you, it's like, you don't know who that is. The idea that you just immediately take their opinion straight to heart and be like, this matters, and now I'm going to feel bad about it is like, it's a very sped up reaction, and we don't know that that's what we're doing, but that's what we're doing. We're going, whoever you are, random person.
You get a say in my life and how I feel about myself.
You get a say. And it's like, sorry, let's not do that to ourselves. Let's keep that circle real small of people who get a say.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
As my therapist told me, in year one, where she goes, how many like close friends would you say you have? And I'm like, I don't know, 30. And she goes,
That's not a thing.
That's not true. And I was just like, ooh, you're right. 4.
Oh.
Keep it tight.
Well, your sister Laura has agreed to, and Steven does this too, when there's a cute thing on Instagram that pertains to us, she's agreed to send it to me. I feel like we should give her the My Favorite Murder Instagram password and just be like, post whatever you want anytime you want.
Well, they're coming to visit, so maybe we'll make an arrangement.
Oh my God, what if Nora was our social media manager? Your 13-year-old niece?
She's so TikTok based, though. Oh, that's the only thing.
Great.
She's all about.
We need a fucking TikTok presence. Great.
We need the youth injection. We're old people talking to young people. We need to be managed by even younger people.
I think there is like I don't know TikTok at all, but we've been tagged in a few things where like the gal will say, "Stay sexy and don't get murdered." I don't know. They play us saying "Stay sexy, don't get murdered" and then mimic it. I don't know.
Is that a TikTok?
Is that a
meme? That's a TikTok
Steven's
thing.
I can see Steven in Zoom and he's laughing.
They lip sync. Steven, do you have something to say about TikTok?
I'm too old for TikTok. That's how.
What? Millennial Ray Morris is too old.
The only thing I follow on TikTok is a woman who does couponing.
What?
She's a murderino, and she's a murderino in Nashville, and she does cat rescue stuff. But she also does shows like all the extreme coupons, like CVS, like you saved $400 today, or like your thing is
What's
free.
Her name? I want to.
Yes.
Her name is Laura. I'll find a link to it, but like, it's just about all the ways that you can like, and she donates a lot of the stuff that she gets on coupons to shelters, like women's shelters and things like that. She's doing great work. It's really fun.
Okay.
It's very satisfying.
Okay.
It's like an ASMR thing.
Love couponing, man. I love couponing.
Love that.
Laura Bell X at Laura Bell X on TikTok. And that's Bell, BELLEX, Laura Bell X.
Beautiful.
Love it.
There we are.
Here we are.
We got our TikTok in. Yeah, we'll have Nora walk us through it. You and Vince should come over.
And we can sit outside.
Have dinner on the patio. Yeah. And then we'll set Nora up.
Is your dad coming? Can he make one of his well done burgers for us?
Yes, he can.
Don't tell him I fucking said that.
Well, the problem is they're either completely done or you are eating red meat off of the styrofoam white thing. I mean, in the past, he's served burgers that were just like, everyone was pretending to eat them and then had to put them down afterwards. Oh my God, it's like they were so raw.
It's like an episode of Top Chef.
It's insanity. We're going to make something that's like tacos where you just know exactly what the cooking is.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we'll get that all figured out. Look, I'm definitely not going to be off social media forever, but I think it's so good at a time like this to watch yourself and actually just be in the world. Like I had to, as you know, I dropped my phone in the pool the other day.
God, listen to this, you guys. This is the most LA thing you've ever fucking heard.
This is an asshole story, and I do apologize.
Jay texted me the other morning. Our assistant, so LA, was like, "Hey, I'm sure she told you, but Karen dropped her phone in the pool, so we have to cancel this meeting or whatever." And I was like, "She fucking didn't tell me, actually."
The second it happened, I was like, yay, I don't have to do any calls for like days. In my mind, I was like, you just bought yourself a week of freedom. And then I'm like, what am I talking about? Like, I can do everything on my laptop.
I know.
What am I talking about? So I left my house and went to the phone place that's not the iPhone store or the Apple store, because they're all closed. To my local phone place, and a woman who worked there, I guess what it would be, Sherman Oaks AT&T store. Cindy, what's up?
Cindy.
You killed it. You were the greatest. Okay, this woman, I loved her so much. Went in, of course, there's like dots everywhere of where you should stand and everything. Now all those tables in those like phone stores have the plastic divider on them. I mean, all this stuff. It's so trippy.
Dystopian as fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we're both wearing masks. And so I'm like, I just need to replace this phone. What's the latest one? I'll have the one you're having. Thank God I have insurance. Pools count, whatever. So she's just doing it real fast, not asking me all those extra questions. She just knew we needed to both get out of there quickly. And so then I go over, she goes back to get it. I go over to like look for what my new phone case will be, because of course it's a different size and it's all new, everything. And a woman comes in who's wearing a mask, but walks straight in and starts telling everybody what to do. And Cindy's like, ma'am, could you please stand over there? We already have 3 customers in the store.
She's telling them what to do.
Like, just like, I need to pay my bill, blah, blah, blah. But Cindy's like, oh, you need to stand over here because we already have the maximum people in the store. And this woman, it was like she was waiting for her cue. I'm sorry. Did someone in this store die? Is that why you're being this dramatic? And she started going off and I looked at her. I was just like, I almost started yelling. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is total crap. And Cindy handled it beautifully. She was just like, ma'am, I'm sorry. I understand your frustration. This is for the safety of others. She handled it. Like, the woman immediately realized there was going to be no attention gotten. There's going to be no one was going to join her in her fight. And she just went and stood. She handled it so perfectly. So you know how they usually say,
can I just say what a pity it is that she, because you're wearing a mask, didn't get the full effect of Karen's fuck you face. But at the same time, you were able to fucking give it with just your eyes showing and eyebrow. Those eyebrows are pretty.
The eyebrows do it.
Yeah.
They're plucked specifically for making people freeze in their tracks. But I had actually started yelling. When she started yelling, I immediately started yelling, because that's that's what we do.
Double yell is the best.
Do.
Yeah.
Oh, are you yelling? I'm more mad immediately.
You're like her hype man who's like, yeah, bitch.
What? But I'm against her. I'm the anti hype man. Yeah. But I realized, I was like, do not escalate this. Cindy's got it. You don't know, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
When they sent me the thing of, will you fill out a survey?
Yeah.
And normally I completely ignore those, even if I've gotten great service. I filled out that survey and texted a paragraph this long about how well Cindy handled herself and this situation and completely diffused it. And if AT&T is going to have people in stores, they need to pay them more, because they're doing more than the average job, because now they have to manage and mitigate people who are anti-maskers coming in and screaming at everybody. And that's on them. And because I had a long conversation with Cindy about it, where I was like, she goes, we would have like a weird thing happen in the store maybe once a week before. She goes, now it's 5 times a day. And
antagonizers.
But the reason she understood it, she goes, it's easy for me to calm them down and to stay neutral, because I know your phone is your lifeline. Right. And if you're in a place where the government hasn't sent you a check and you don't have anything, and all of a sudden you can't make your payment and you're getting your phone cut off, then you're cut off.
That's true.
And so this is all of a sudden the people in these stores, they're on the front line of people who are being affected by the mismanagement of this entire situation.
Oh my God, Cindy.
So I wrote to in my report, in my review, where I was like, please pay these people more, because they're protecting your brand. So you need to protect them.
I mean, I can't imagine what it's like right now for
It's horrible.
Georgia 10 years ago, I would have been fucked. There's no moving home because there's no fucking home. There's no not paying rent. You'll get kicked out. You're fucking your roommates over. You know, It's like, I don't know what I would do if I were
Karen 5 years ago would have been literally pack up the dogs and move back to my dad's house because, and look, people are doing that and there is no shame in collecting yourself in a situation like this. This is like unprecedented insanity. If you're lucky enough to have a family to go home to, just say thank you and do those dishes and to feel not 1 ounce of shame because this is crazy.
This is unprecedented, and it's also unmanaged.
This is beyond. But the Cindy's of the world, please think when you're out and about and you're going to places that have reopened, please be ultra careful, concerned, polite, and defensive of the people who are now also essential workers, but they're working at a phone store. Like, please be protective and careful and know that those people are being deeply affected by the stresses of others and the people who can't manage themselves. And all of a sudden you're like, I'm just here working, trying to sell iPhones. And suddenly I'm a crisis manager.
Dude, Cindy, we love you.
Cindy, props
to Cindy. Fuck. All right. It's been 36 minutes. Should we start talking about the podcast?
God damn it.
We haven't even gotten to exactly right news yet. Oh my God.
Literally, when I sat down, I was like, I have nothing to
Me too. I actually wrote 2 things down that I could talk about, and we haven't talked about them. That's like...
What you got?
Well, I have the beautiful and amazing actor, Dan Levy. He posted this Instagram recently that I saw before I took Instagram off.
Wait, can I say?
Yeah.
Is it about taking that class?
Yes.
Oh, I love him so much.
There's a free course being offered through the University of Alberta called Indigenous Canada. It's a 12-lesson course that explores Indigenous histories and contemporary issues from an Indigenous perspective. And he is it starts this week. It's like 12 courses. He'll be hosting a weekly discussion with the professors, for 12 weeks, and they're all going to learn together. I have it pulled up right here. It looks awesome.
It's so brilliant.
Yeah. I love that Dan Levy's getting involved. He's incredible.
Well, because also it's like, what are you doing with your time? Like, how many times can I rewatch the same show that I already like? And when I saw that was before I left Twitter. I saw that and I was like, that genius bastard, he's done it again. So because smart. It's like, learn about something you should know that very few of our educations provided for us in a meaningful way.
And the other thing was the Anchorage Daily News. I saw this on Reddit. On the cover of their newspaper, it's a huge blank newspaper page with a tiny little paragraph at the bottom that says, over the past month, we've presented the stories of women and men choosing to speak out about their experiences with sexual violence in Alaska. Talking about rape and sexual assault is difficult. Many survivors may not be in a position to do so right now. This space, which is the blank space, is dedicated to those not ready to share. We're leaving this open for you.
Oh my God.
So you can write, and you know how important it is to even write a letter that you don't send. They left the entire front page open for survivors of sexual assault to write their experience and just keep it.
Beautiful.
I know. Chills.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Who is that editor-in-chief?
Amazing.
High five.
High five.
Anchorage. The Anchorage, what is the newspaper
Anchorage Daily News.
Wow. Congratulations. What a beautiful gesture.
I know. All right. That was what I had. Oh, and then we're going to make some face masks. You guys, we made face masks.
You guys,
we made face masks. They say stay sexy and don't get, no, they just say stay sexy. They say stay sexy. And then they have the My Favorite Murder logo on them. So you can, everyone you walk by, you're going to be giving them a message.
If you buy one, all proceeds are going to go to feedingamerica.org.
That's right. And so Feeding America, their mission statement is, our mission is to feed America's hungry through a nationwide network of member food banks and engage our country in the fight to end hunger. So it's pretty cool. It's been around since 1979. We're really into it. So any face mask you buy from us at myfavoritemurder.com in the store, all the proceeds are going to go to them.
to feeding America.
That's right.
Which is super important right now, as we were just talking about. This is a very intense, very difficult time for so many people. And this is just one way. We all have I have about 4 different masks. One was one my sister bought for me. One, I got a package of the disposable ones. But so, you can have one for your car.
Oh, yeah.
You can have one for your house, answering the front door or whatever.
Our house is littered with masks. It's really ridiculous. Vince keeps buying different, he wants to support the businesses he likes. So he keeps buying masks from different places. And then we have the big thing of the disposable ones. And it's just,
love it.
Love it.
The coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get in there and so you can protect yourself and support a very good cause and help out hungry people in America.
Yeah. And then real quick, do you want to do Exactly Right Corner?
Yes.
Some good shit this week.
So good. So, Monday, Murder Squad covered the case of the Taco Bell strangler, who's named Henry Louis Wallace. He, targeted Black women in Charlotte, North Carolina in the 90s. But he's only confessed to the murders that everyone knew he was tied to. So Billy and Paul explore how many other potential victims he could possibly have.
I've never heard of that person. Strangler. Yeah. And on Bananas, when we were told that this was going to be a guest on Bananas, and you know how good Scotty and Kurt are with guests, this one fucking tops them all. Aaron Brockovich.
Hi.
Oh, how's my God. Legend.
Yeah.
Let's all watch that tonight.
What, the movie?
The movie Aaron Brockovich.
Absolutely.
Such a good movie. But she's an incredible advocate. So she is on Bananas this week. Please tune in.
Yep. And then the Fall Line is releasing this week. They released part 1 of their new 2-part series called Identity After Death, which sounds so cool. They have a UNH lecturer and forensic anthropologist named Dr. Amy Michael, who's talking about common misconceptions, the state of forensic science, how cold cases might be solved. This is a person who's in it and studying it and on the cutting edge. So I can't wait to listen to that. Sounds so good.
So rad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great stuff happening.
It's all crappening. Is that everything? 45 minutes in?
No, sorry. There is one more thing. So last week, because the TV show, God damn it, the TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about the new HBO series Lovecraft Country premiered, and we talked about how much we loved it. Oh God, it's so good. And that's Jordan Peele is one of the producers on it.
Why am I not surprised? That's amazing. Yeah.
So we got this email and it says, "Hey crew, I was so excited and moved to tears to hear you both bring up Lovecraft Country this week. I'm one of the set decoration buyers on the show, and the entire crew put so much love, sweat, and tears into it. And it's just nice to see our hard work being recognized. I think my parents sometimes imagine I'm still painting flats for a high school play." As I was spending hours in my van traveling around Georgia to find period correct pieces,
this is
parentheses.
This is my favorite thing in the world. Okay, say it.
She goes, "And I mean it. There's not even a single book on any set that was published after 1954.
Fuck. That
damn
is rad. Can that be? That's my, if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you want to do? That's my dream job.
Right? Yeah. It's the coolest. Yeah. And y'all were keeping me company." So as she was doing these buyings, she was listening to us, which is such a great compliment. Every Monday and Thursday, several of us would get distracted, talking about this week's episode. In my office, you could find various SSDGM, You're in a Cult, Call Your Dad, and other MFM merch. I even have a few people on our crew who remembered the casket with the quote suspicious substance, formaldehyde, that was in a mini-sode that came out while we were filming. That one was not on our show. I promise to never buy a used casket for work, no matter what the discount is. Anyway, I just wanted to say on behalf of the Lovecraft crew, or at the very least, the set decorating department, that we are happy to be friends of the fam. Yay. Stay sexy and stay away from racist and shoggoths, Natasha.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. I was so excited. We were so excited. So thank you, Natasha. I'm assuming she pronounces it Natasha, but it's Notosha. Yeah. Natasha. Yeah. Okay. It's just a different spelling.
Sure.
Please say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Natasha.
And way to go.
Yeah, super congratulations. What a beautifully made show.
Love it.
But also so fucking creepy. Like the first when it's all spoilers. It's I
haven't seen the new episode yet, so don't spoil.
Okay. Yeah,
we'll watch it and watch the other one, and then we'll talk about it next week.
And really quick, I just for the comedy side, if you're looking for something to watch, I had been saving it because when it first came out, I didn't watch it, even though I love Rob Delaney and
I love him.
He's just truly the funniest. He's the king of Twitter, but he's also an amazing actor, an amazing comedian.
So kind too. And he fucking I knew him for a little while when he lived here. He remembers my name when he didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like I was not important to your life in any way, but he'd come and be like, "Hi, Georgia and Vince." He was just so nice.
Yes, he knows his stuff.
He's good.
So he made a show with Sharon Horgan, his an amazing Irish actress and comedian, called Catastrophe.
So good.
There's, I believe, 3 seasons of it. So, it is so fucking funny and so brilliant. 2 people that get together and start a family, and that's all you need to know. Yeah. The jokes are superb. The people are so real. I love it so much. And I always feel bad when I don't watch things the second they come out, but oftentimes I resist because there's always this first wave of like opinion. Yeah. And I want to like get away from that and then have my own opinion. Right. And be separate.
So you just watched it and you love it?
I just watched it literally for like 72 hours. I did not stop watching it because I loved it so much.
You know what that reminds me of? Did you watch the NXIVM cult documentary?
Yes, episode 1.
What's it called? The Vow?
The Vow.
On HBO. And
so good.
It made me think of this because I thought to myself, it's on HBO, so it's episodic every week. And I am just like, I was mad that I couldn't binge watch it. Like,
yes, me too.
Can we not do that anymore? All I want to do is fucking sit there for a weekend and binge the show.
Yes. And while you're at it, if I'm binging a show, you don't need to put up a thing that asks me if I'm still watching it. Stop judging me for laying on the couch for 9 hours.
That still is in italics.
Yes.
Are you
Karen?
Still Karen?
And then a little pig face.
Yeah. The Vow is really good. I am
The Vow is great
about it.
The way it is setting it up, for a second, I was kind of like, this feels a little bit pro NXIVM to me. What's going on?
Yeah.
But it's like they're establishing, it's good documentary filmmaking. They're establishing what was good about it. Because there's
why
always
these people got pulled in, and you can totally understand.
Yes. The positivity and it's so, I love that it's like a learning process where I was like sitting there going, I don't like this. They're basically, and then I went, oh yeah. That's the whole idea of a cult is you don't see a cult and go, this is a bunch of bullshit. Right. You like the girl who was talking about realizing she's in a cult at the show. Yeah. Of course, it's welcoming. It makes you feel good. It's hitting all of those.
You feel like you have a bigger purpose, which, sorry, isn't a real, like, doesn't happen in real life unless you have kids, maybe. I think if you have kids, then that's the cult.
Not according to Catastrophe. No, but I mean, it's such a good, this is the way we learn about cults so that we can learn to stay away from them or to recognize when something switches from being super helpful and beneficial to literally controlling your life. Yeah. Thank God there's a lot of good TV out right now in these times. All right. Are you ready to make some media that will also entertain people?
Well, we're 49 and 50 something seconds in, so I feel like now's the time.
It's time. Just tell me like a 4-minute story.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace.
Every successful small business starts with someone saying, I wonder if people would actually buy this.
Squarespace gives you everything you need to find out.
From consultations to events and experiences, you can showcase your skills with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business.
With Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a beautiful, professional online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business.
Get paid on time with professional invoices and online payments. Plus, streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools.
Head to squarespace.com/murder for a free trial.
And when you're ready to launch, use offer code MURDER to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Goodbye. Every piece of furniture you own has a story.
Sometimes it's an heirloom, and sometimes it came with the house because it was too heavy to move.
If you're ready to start a new chapter with your home decor, there's Article.
Article makes it effortless to create a stylish, long-lasting home at an unbeatable price.
They take great care in curating their collection, focusing on pieces that stand the test of time.
We've talked about Article for a long time. There are pieces in that catalog that are so affordable that are room changers. And if you go through there and there's like a little something you don't even realize you need it until you see how they have stuff set up or what style combinations that they're doing with. They do the boho chic. There's mid-century. It's a little bit modern. It's something new. Like there's so many choices in there and it's not going to break the bank.
As someone who's interested in tons of different styles and time periods, Article covers them all in one place. I love that.
I know I've mentioned already how much I love my entryway table, but I swear to God, because the path that it's on, I pass it 4 times a day. And I love it more every time.
Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
To claim, visit article.com/murder and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout.
That's article.com/murder for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Goodbye.
There are some questions humanity may never be able to answer, like, what's the meaning of life?
Or even worse, what do I make for dinner?
Luckily, Hungry Root has one of those covered.
Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped in one. They'll take care of the weekly grocery shopping and recommend groceries and meals tailored to you.
Imagine a world where shopping, planning, and cooking food is simple and stress-free. That's a reality with Hungry Root.
Once you tell them about your goals and preferences, they fill your cart with personalized recommendations. And those recommendations get smarter as Hungry Root learns more about what you did or didn't like.
Most of Hungry Root's recipes can be made in just 15 minutes or less.
I complain about dinner and cooking and that kind of stuff constantly. And Hungry Root provides exactly the thing I'm complaining about's solution. Like they make a zesty chicken avocado sweet potato bowl that is exactly what I want at the end of the day, but would never, ever take the time to make. And with Hungry Root, it's just right there. It's waiting for you.
For a limited time, get 40% off your first order, plus get a free item in every box for life.
Go to hungryroot.com/MFM and use code MFM.
That's hungryroot.com/MFM, code MFM to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life.
Goodbye.
Steven, who's first?
Karen, you're first.
Damn it. Okay. Is it me? Because of last week.
The quilt episode.
Oh, right.
Georgia did the dungeon in the in Charleston, and Karen, you did the Stoll Cemetery.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So, Georgia, the story I'm going to do for you this week, read to you, is the story of Delaware's Patty Cannon, the wickedest woman in America.
Ooh. Don't know it.
Okay, this was suggested by Anna H. She sent this suggestion into the MFM Gmail inbox. Thank you, Anna H. I'd never heard of her, of course. What she basically ran the reverse Underground Railroad.
What?
She was an escaped slave catcher in the 1800s. Mm-hmm. There's so much of this stuff as I was looking it up and reading it that, of course, I've never heard of. Any of it.
Historic as fuck. They don't teach.
Yes.
They don't teach it in the fucking.
They don't teach it, and they don't teach slave patrols, slave traders, all of it. It's such an ugly time, and it has to be discussed. This should not be the only thing you know about it. So please, this is basically an overview. There's plenty to read about this and to look into yourself.
Okay.
So I got this information. There's a Ranker article that was written by a writer named Amanda Sedlak-Heavener, and all that's interesting article that was written by Emily Stringer, and articles from, of course, Wikipedia, newspapers.com, and the Dover Post. Just as a quick overview, as most of us know, and the only thing I've ever heard of is that the Underground Railroad itself, the original, which was the secret network of safe houses, hiding places, and travel routes that led escaped slaves out of slave-owning states and to free states and up to Canada. So of course, it's an incredibly secretive system. So there's not much about like when it was established or who did it first or anything like that, because that was all very secret. But what we do know is that it was set up by freemen who had been escaped slaves themselves, black and white abolitionists at the time, many of whom were Quakers. So the Quaker religion was very active. They're very active in helping slaves escape. Awesome. Also, members of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, which was established in 1816, that they did tons of work on the Underground Railroad, and it basically just provided. It was very loose. Some of the network, some of the spots in the network knew about each other, but it was very loosely organized. It wasn't like, oh, if you make it to this place, you know exactly you'll go to that place. It wasn't set up like that at all.
It's the same thing with like, you know, fucking Jewish people in Germany during World War II. The more everyone knows about it, the more you can tell the authorities when you get caught. So it's better
the
to
more
not
danger.
know.
Exactly. You had to keep it small. You had to keep it very, very secretive. And especially at this period of time, which would be like late 1700s into the 1800s, because America was founded and established with slavery simultaneously. So the slave codes that came to America, they just came with the slave owners in America. They were just, it was just kind of, they weren't the laws that were enacted. It was kind of like what had been established in either France or Spain or England. And there weren't any laws set up in any meaningful way. Essentially, across the board, a slave owner was legally allowed to beat, to rape, or in some cases to kill his property, quote unquote, these human beings at will. And so essentially they're human beings that were bought into servitude and then treated so poorly, obviously, backbreaking work, inhumane living conditions. I mean, so escaping to the northern free states was obviously huge, and they had the slave owners made it a very, very scary thing to try to do.
Right.
And so
set an example of whoever tried it and got caught.
Exactly. And get these slave patrols, people that would just go out at night, hired for money to try to catch people who are trying to escape slavery. Wow. So I read this article a couple of months ago, and it had this quote in it that I remembered, and it was there's a Black composer named George Walker, who was the first Black composer to win a Pulitzer for music. He won it in 1996.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he died in 2018, but he was the grandson of a slave. And when his grandmother, of course, never talked about it. And when he finally had the courage to ask her, what was it like? The only thing she said to him was, they did everything except eat us. So I'm just giving you the overview of the setup. Definitely look into all of that. Slave patrols, all of that. It's so creepy, horrifying. And it basically was the birth of what is happening in this country right now. In about 1820, there's a woman by the name of Patty Cannon, and she tends bar at her tavern in Johnson's Crossroad, which is in a town in Delaware that's situated right on the Delaware-Maryland border. And so it sits right on the Mason-Dixon line. So slave traders would often stop at Patty's Tavern as they were traveling to and from the slave states and the freed states.
Yeah.
So tonight, Patty waits on a slave trader who makes the terrible mistake of flashing a huge wad of cash that he has. And so she invites him to have dinner in her nearby home. And he says yes. They have dinner with her son-in-law, Joe Johnson, and Joe's brother, Ebenezer.
Dude.
If you just want a creepy white guy name.
Eb. What's up, Eb?
Ebenezer. So the slave trader seated at the dining room table, and Patty excuses herself to go outside to hoe her flowers, she says. That's the excuse she uses. And from the garden, which sits right below the dining room window, Patty has a clear sight of this slave trader's back, pulls out a gun, shoots him from behind, and kills him. takes his money, obviously. Then Patty, Joe, and Ebenezer hack his body into pieces, wrap him in the bloody tablecloth, stuff him into a blue chest 3 feet wide, and bury him out behind her house. And this is standard fare for Patty Cannon. This is life at her tavern.
Okay.
So she was born Martha Patricia Hanley. There's some people say her first name was Lucretia, but they think that that's just a rumor that stemmed from Lucretia Borgia, who was the Italian noblewoman who was famous for poisoning people.
Oh, yeah.
So they think that just kind of got tacked on to her. But records of her early life aren't exact. She was believed to be born in 1760 in Montreal. Her father was a British nobleman turned bad boy who defied his parents and married a barmaid. So her father's parents disowned him, and they fled to Montreal. They have Patty and 3 other daughters. And so Patty's father supports the family by smuggling and other crimes. So she's basically born into a life of crime. It's very common for her. Basically, her father gets into a fight with someone who threatens to turn him into the local police. So he kills the snitch with an axe. He's caught in the act. He's arrested and he's hanged for murder. So Patty's mom is left to support the family on her own. So she forces Patty and her sister into sex work as well. And then she tries to marry her daughters off so she doesn't have to take care of them anymore. So around 1776, when she's 16 years old, Patty marries a man named Jesse Cannon, visiting Montreal from Delaware, where he is a farmer. So she marries him and moves back to Delaware with him. And they move to a town called Johnson's Crossroads, which is now Resilience, Delaware, which is right on the Delaware-Maryland border. So Johnson's Crossroads sits in the Delmarva Peninsula. So that's right along the border. There are 3 separate counties, Caroline, Dorchester, and Sussex, and they all meet together right in this one spot.
Okay.
So Patty and Jesse have 2 kids, Jesse Jr. and a girl named Mary. So she works as a barmaid while Jesse farms, and eventually she wants more money. So she tries to add sex work back into her rotation, but she even, like, her idea is she'll start be a sex worker again and then eventually become a madam and run her own brothel.
Okay.
But she's such an unpleasant person. No. She has such a shit personality that most of her potential Johns find her attitude off-putting.
Oh, God.
So
they're
the
like
brothel
later
idea,
days.
They're like, could you lower your voice?
Oh, my God.
So the brothel idea never pans out because she just isn't very nice. This was a description of Patty Cannon from the Dover Post. Quote, descriptions of Cannon, all written many years after her death, paint her as a rather fearsome person. She was, quote, massive of bosom, massive elsewhere. According to a 1907 newspaper article, an Amazonian Paul Bunyan, who personally hogtied some of her kidnapped victims. It says, she was more or less robust, had a wealth of black hair, and her face, while showing the effects of her evil passions and dissipations, was more or less good to look upon. She was haughty, but her attitude was poor. So sorry, no sex work for you. Instead, she leans on her bartending skills and opens a tavern around 1784 when she's 24 years old. Okay. Her own tavern. So that she basically... Instead of the brothel, she just has her own bar.
Middle age back then, essentially. Right?
Really, she was scheduled to die within 10 years. Okay, so soon after she opens this tavern, her husband Jesse Cannon Sr. dies under mysterious circumstances. So Patty's left to fend for herself and her kids. So sometime in the early 1800s, her daughter Mary Cannon marries a man named Henry Brereton. Henry is a blacksmith, but he's gotten into the illegal slave trading game. So what happened was basically they passed a law in 1807, which came into effect in January 1st of 1808, that was the act prohibiting importation of slaves. So essentially they made it illegal to import any more slaves into America. Okay. And it's supposed to limit the slave population and end international slave trading. But what happens is, because slavery is still legal in the United States, it then leads to a rise in the underground slave trading, illegal slave trading market. And that they call that the reversed Underground Railroad.
Oh.
So basically now plantation owners are willing to pay more for slaves. So basically if slaves ran away, it wasn't, you couldn't just go buy more.
Right.
So they would pay people to go find them, bring them back, or just buy and illegally.
Yeah.
And it's such a sensitive thing to talk about. We're talking about people. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is with the illegal slave trade, these illegal slave traders go to free states and kidnap free Black people off of the street.
Fuck, man.
Whether they were ex-slaves, whether they were born free in those free states, whatever, they're kidnapping and getting them to boats and shipping them back down to the slave states.
Jesus.
Super dark, really creepy. So essentially in 1811, Henry teams up with the Cannons to kidnap free Black people and sell them back into the slave trade. So Henry, Patty, and other accomplices, they would like get other people to help them out. They join Joseph Griffith and develop a system. So the guys find accomplices. They troll the waterfronts in a ferry looking for free Black men, women, and especially children.
No, dude.
And then they kidnap them through force or through trickery. Oftentimes they would promise them work, basically kidnap them and hide them. Patty had built, in the attic of her tavern, she built this horrible jail so she could keep people there. She abused them. She tortured them. They were horrible conditions. And essentially they would stay up there while she was making arrangements with these slave traders. So she was making money. They would make the exchange and then send the victims back down south.
Fuck, man.
So one way they would do this, when they would end up tricking Black people, is Patty owned a slave herself. It was just a boy named Cyrus James. She bought him when he was 7 years old. So she would and her gang would force Cyrus to trick people into boarding their ferry by saying, are you looking for work? Here, come with me. I'm going to take you to a place. So, of course, they would trust a Black child.
God.
When they weren't kidnapping free Black people, Patty and her gang are also making counterfeit money, and they're also robbing the tavern patrons, the rich tavern patrons. So they were just basically an organized crime syndicate, all at this tavern. So in 1811, Henry gets caught during an attempted capture in Georgetown, Delaware. He's given a prison sentence for his crimes, but within a year he escapes. He gets back to Patty's tavern, and there Patty and Joseph Griffith pick up right back where they left off. And then one day in the spring of 1813, they devise a plan to rob a slave trader who frequents the tavern named Ridgel. They get him drunk, and then as he's leaving for the night, they ambush his carriage and they rob him. But he fights back, and in the midst of that fight, Ridgel gets shot and killed. So Henry and Joseph are captured and found guilty of Ridgel's murder, and they're sentenced to death. And at noon on April 13th, 1813, they're both hanged. So now Patty's in charge, and it does not slow her down one bit. Because right after, the new widow, Mary, her daughter Mary, immediately marries another illegal slave trader named Joe Johnson. Joe partners up with Patty to continue this same slave trading enterprise that she'd built with Henry, and Joe's an even better partner. They recruit as many as 50 to 60 other people to help them, and they become known in the area as the Cannon Johnson Gang. And we will never know the exact numbers because there was a book written after her death that they think she had a hand in writing.
Yeah.
So they're not sure if the numbers are correct because, but they think she killed around 30 people and sold thousands of Black people back into slavery or into slavery for the first time, men, women, and children. It's really sad. There are these stories because this became so common. There were posters on the streets of Boston warning Black people to be careful, not to talk to police, not to interact with police, and not to believe anyone offering them a job off the street.
Which like you'll get in trouble for immediately if you don't talk to police and don't interact with police. If they interact with you, you're
right. But it's almost fucked. Just like it's that steer clear thing. Yeah. It reminds me of that scene in Lovecraft Country where they're just trying to stop for lunch,
right? And
they suddenly realize the cafe they're in isn't the safe place that they got in the Green Book. It's that place has been burned down and they are in a sundown town.
Yeah.
It's so scary. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. But it's the same thing where there's just traps everywhere. It's again, that thing we talk about Black people culturally have not been safe ever.
Right.
They just they can't feel safe.
Yeah.
It's not right. So law enforcement, of course, looks the other way. They know what they're doing, but a lot of white people make money off of doing this. Yeah. So the illegal aspect of this slave trading, no one's coming out and going, this is wrong and you can't do it at all.
Right.
But the crimes, the Cannon Johnson gang, they start committing all these crimes against white people. And of course, that's what gets the authorities' attention. Mm-hmm. So they start hanging out at the tavern, paying more attention to what Patty and her people are doing. But she lives so close to the state line that anytime she catches wind that the cops are going to come and like take a look around, she just hops the border. And so she's out of the area and they can't do anything about it. In 1822, a few members of the Cannon Johnson gang are finally caught, one being Joe Johnson. And he's the only one that's brought to trial for kidnapping because he was basically the leader, found guilty, and his punishment is to be placed in the stocks and given 39 lashes. So he takes his punishment, and then him and his brother, Ebenezer, take off for the South. Patty, once again, she's dodged a bullet, but that changes in 1829 when a tenant farmer working her land stumbles upon something interesting beneath the dirt, a 3-foot wide blue chest. The farmer opens it, and inside are the remains of the slave trader that Patty killed with Joe and Ebenezer back in 1820. So the farmer reports this finding to the local law enforcement. They go to find Patty, but before they can find her, they wind up catching Cyrus James in Delaware, who is Patty's young boy slave. So he's also wanted for his part in this illegal slave trading operation, which is, of course, bullshit because he's a slave. He's being forced to work with them. But the good thing is when the police question him, he just spills the beans and tells them everything. He confesses to seeing Patty, Joe, and Ebenezer kill the slave trader and bury him in the blue chest. He tells them about all the horrors he's seen in the tavern, about the attic jail, about how Johnson would whip the black captives, who would say they're free. They're not escaped slaves. They were born free. He even says that there are at least 3 other bodies of victims Patty killed and buried on her land. He leads authorities to the locations, and sure enough, when they dig there, they find 3 more bodies. A young boy who had been killed on June 1st, 1824, when Patty hit him in the head with a wooden board, and 2 other children who were both killed on April 26th, 1822.
Oh my God.
So with the help of Cyrus James' testimony, law enforcement has all they need to arrest Patty. And in April of 1829, she's caught and charged with 4 counts of murder. She's found guilty and sentenced to death by hanging. But on May 11th, 1829, Patty's guilty conscience gets the best of her. She calls for a minister and she confesses that she's personally killed 11 people, including her husband, Jesse Cannon, who she poisoned, as well as one of her own babies, who she strangled when they were 3 days old.
No.
So, yeah, she was a fucking monster.
Dude.
Yeah. And I think that's probably where the Lucretia Borgia thing came in, because she poisoned her first husband. The same afternoon, Patty's found dead in her cell at age 70. She had secretly smuggled arsenic into her cell and used it to poison herself 3 weeks before her scheduled hanging. So Patty's body is buried outside the Sussex County Courthouse in Delaware, but her remains are moved in 1907 when the area is exhumed for the development of a parking lot. So they end up burying her in a potter's field near a local jail, except for the skull. Somebody saw, one of the courthouse employees who was there during the exhumation, saw Patty's skull that was separated from the rest of her remains and took it and kept it. Yes. They kept that in their family until 1961 when someone finally donated it to the Dover Library. So that skull has since been donated to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. on long-term loan. And in 2010, Dr. Douglas Owsley, the chief of the Division of Physical Anthropology at the Smithsonian, announced his plans to conduct a forensic examination of the skull and saying he wished to preserve it as a part of a larger study of life in the Chesapeake from colonial times to the 19th century. And that is the story of Patty Cannon and the Reverse Underground Railroad.
Fuck, dude, that was a whirlwind.
I mean, it's not enough. There's so much.
Know.
It's, we'll talk more about all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the idea that, talk about a serial killer.
Yeah.
Talk about an evil person that we should know about.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That whole idea of people who made money catching escaped slaves.
Yeah. It's Dr. Mengele. It's fucking. It's just people who are using the excuse of the times to do their fucking evil bidding and getting away with it. Wow, that's fucking evil. That's evil and horrible.
It's fascinating because this stuff went on for so long.
She's not the only. It's not like this is a rare, moment in history. This is.
She's the anti-Harriet Tubman. But what's cool is in reading up on all this stuff, the coolest thing about Harriet Tubman that I don't think I understood, because basically the Underground Railroad went until obviously the Civil War, through that. And then Harriet Tubman, the Union Army hired her to be a spy because she knew all these routes secret routes and places down to the South. And so they basically would use her to go in and she would dress up as an old woman and no one paid attention to her. And then she would go get intel and information to bring back to the generals. That's my favorite. I mean, everything else is incredible and amazing. And her bravery and the fact that she went into slave states upwards of 30 times to free escaping slaves.
Yeah.
Then she worked for the army too during the Civil War.
That's bananas.
Current you is trying to get through today.
Future you would like it if you thought about tomorrow every once in a while.
Now, both versions of you can work toward the same goal with Acorns.
Acorns is a smart way to give your money a chance to grow. You can sign up in minutes and start automatically investing, even if it's your spare change.
The Acorns potential screen shows you the power of compounding and how your money could grow over time. You can quickly adjust how much you're investing every day, week, or month to make sure you're always building towards your goals.
Whether you're just starting out or thinking about settling down, Acorns supports your big and small goals across every life stage. Sign up now and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment.
Join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $27 billion with Acorns.
Head to acorns.com/MFM or download the Acorns app to get started.
Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns.
Tier 2 compensation provided. Potential subject to various factors such as customers' accounts, age, and investment settings.
Does not include Acorns fees. Results do not predict or represent the performance of any Acorns portfolio. Investment results will vary. Investing involves risk.
Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/MFM.
Goodbye.
You know your favorite summer clothes by what actually makes it into your suitcase.
Find the outfits you'll wear all season long at Quince.
Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces you'll reach for all summer long. They're lightweight, effortless to style, and they start at just $32.
Their denim is soft and comfortable, and their organic cotton sweaters are perfect for layering when evenings get cold.
Quince's beautiful 14-karat gold jewelry adds a subtle finishing touch.
So I just went to Italy, and you bet I brought my 100% European linen scoop neck midi dress along with me in the color of floral waterfall, and I wore that thing all over Italy. It was like the perfect day to night. It just looked so pretty. And I felt like I looked sophisticated while still being comfortable.
Make your summer wardrobe feel easier.
Head to quince.com/MFM for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Go to QUINCE.com/MFM for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/MFM.
Goodbye.
Summer's for adventures, road trips, and adding a whole lot of miles to your car.
That's why it's worth stopping at Valvoline Instant Oil Change first.
If you need an oil change, make the smart stop at Valvoline Instant Oil Change before you hit the highway.
Their trained techs can help you get road trip ready with an oil change and an 18-point maintenance check included with every oil change, checking your tire pressure, wipers, lights, and more.
That means they're checking important things before you're halfway to your aunt's house with no cell service.
And these aren't just any techs. Valvoline Instant Oil Change techs complete over 270 hours of training, so your car's in capable hands.
The best part, you can stay in your car and you're in and out in about 15 minutes.
So before your next long summer ride, pull into Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Change wisely.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That was incredible. Great fucking job. And weirdly, mine is like my story this week is like, and later, 50 years later.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay.
I love it.
And here's a unsolved murder I hadn't heard about ever that we should know more about, and we should know more about the woman. This is the murder of civil rights activist Alberta Jones.
Nice.
So I got information from there's a great New York Times article by Tripp Gabriel, blackpast.org article, Face to Face Africa article, blackthen.com article by Jay Jones, WHAS 11 article by Derek Rose and Lena Duncan, Washington Post article by Deneen L. Brown, and it's just coming to light about this incredible woman. Okay. So Alberta Odell Jones is born on November 12th, 1930 to Sarah Frances Crawford and Odell Jones, which let's bring back the name Odell. What an
Odell's pretty good. Yeah.
Fucking name. In Louisville, Kentucky. So Alberta attends Louisville Central High School and then Louisville Municipal College, which was a school for Black students only, but it merges at that time with the University of Louisville during desegregation. So she graduates, and this is a Black woman in the 1950s. She graduates third in her class.
Hell yeah.
And gets her bachelor's degree from the University of Louisville, also at the top of her class. Basically, she's really smart, really driven. And in 1956, she's the first Black person to attend the University of Louisville Law School. Cool. She transfers during her second year to Howard University School of Law in Washington, D.C., which is the oldest historically Black university law school in the United States. And she graduates fourth in her class.
Nice.
Yeah. And
she's killing it.
She's killing it. Yeah. In 1959, she becomes one of the first Black women to pass the Kentucky bar. And so she's taking the bar exam, and a newspaper photographer shows up to take photos of her because it's historic. And she says to the journalist at the time, quote, "If I had known how much was depending on me," because she didn't even know about that she was one of the first Black women to even take the Kentucky bar. She said, "I would have studied harder." And she said, "and I would have worn something different."
For real.
She's like, "I would have
send a bunch of photographers
and made sure, like, no pressure, but you better pass this."
Yeah.
So
really?
she was also like, she was a great speaker. She was really funny and, charming and caring. After passing the bar, she returns to Kentucky and opens a law office with partners in downtown Louisville. And over the next couple years, Alberta Jones is profiled in the Courier Journal several times for her work and accomplishments, and is described as cheerful and outgoing with a great sense of humor. And there's this photo that kind of goes along with all of her articles, and she's just this like darling, bright, lovely person with a big smile. And
a bigger brain.
And a ginormous brain.
I think about the Guy Branum, who I know who has passed the bar.
Yeah.
And how smart he is, and how much it takes to pass the bar, because all of law study is memorization of specific, detailed. I don't know how people do it. It's such an accomplishment.
With the adversity of being a woman, which did not happen back then to begin with, and then be a Black woman, which was also so challenging.
Yes.
And
right.
she did it at the top of her class.
Top of her class, straight A. But incredible.
Right. So she's a member of several distinguished groups, the Falls City Bar Association, the Louisville Bar Association, the American Bar Association, and she's a member of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, which is the third largest predominantly African-American sorority, and their focus is on addressing social causes. So social causes are really big for Alberta Jones. This is the focus of her career. She loves speaking to groups of younger women to try to get them to also go into law. She's a powerful person who who achieved so much in her short life and could have achieved so much more.
Well, that alone, I mean, being able to stand there and go, I did it, so can you?
Yeah.
That's all most of us need.
Representation. We need representation.
You just, please show me one person that looks like me, has a background like me, and has gone somewhere and turned around and goes, come on, you can do it too.
Totally. It's invaluable. So early in her career, 1960, so she's got this neighbor, longtime family friend. His name is Cassius Clay. And he's an up-and-coming boxer, and he needs someone to negotiate his first professional fight contract for him. And so he hires his friend, Alberta Jones, to, of course, he later becomes known as Muhammad Ali. Yeah. And she, with or against 11 wealthy white businessmen working on this contract, make sure that he gets a fair deal, and even make sure that some of the money is put in a trust that he can't touch till after he's 35, because she's like, I fucking know you're just going to, you're excited you're going to spend it all. So this fucking lawyer, she negotiates this contract for him.
Hell yes.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
So she's also, of course, a massive civil rights activist, a member of the NAACP. She marches in Louisville protests, attends the March on Washington in 1963 in August, and she forms the Independent Voters Association of Louisville. And so with that association, she and they are able to register 6,000 Black voters in Louisville, which is a huge amount of people. If 6,000 extra people voted in this upcoming election, it would sway things. So,
100%.
It's important. So
I just have to stop you really quick to say that it is bumming me out where we're going with this, because I've never heard of this person.
No, I know. And it's that we had never heard of her and all her work, and then we had never heard of the other stuff. And it's time, and, Washington Post and New York Times and all these outlets are finally giving her, and what happened to her, the attention it deserves. So
yeah, amazing. Great. But I'm bummed.
I know. Okay. Me too. When she's doing this voter association, thing, work, she also rents voting machines so that she can teach the people how to vote when they get in there, so they're not nervous and freaked out. They know what, needs to be done. I'm sure it's a really scary thing.
I would have loved that.
Right. To vote for the first time.
18-year-old?
Yeah.
Yes. It's nerve-wracking.
And it's fucking, these groups of Black people who have never voted before, and she wants them to be confident when they walk in. And because of this, this movement ends up causing a major political shakeup in 1961 when Black voters help oust the old school mayor and many of the city's aldermen. They fucking vote those fucking old school racist dickheads out.
Yeah.
Because of their activism. Yeah. So, and because of this, less conservative administration is in place, and Louisville finally starts enacting anti-discrimination policies. And Alberta Jones is also single-handedly able to integrate Louisville's city hall by forcing officials to hire Black employees. Incredible. So she's this fucking little, cute, fucking sprightly, smart, excited, powerful woman who's able to make these changes in her early 30s. Incredible.
One better.
I mean,
when you actually have the joie de vivre to do it. Okay.
In 1964, Alberta is appointed as city attorney in Louisville, the first woman to ever hold that position. In 1964, that's so
incredible. It's so good.
In February of the following year, she's also appointed prosecutor for the Domestic Relations Court, which is another first for a woman and a person of color. Yeah. And she's responsible for prosecuting mostly white men for spousal abuse.
Wow.
Okay.
So let's get to the bummer part. Because this is a strong, brave young woman, and she's this force. She's up and coming in her career and life. It's a shock to everyone who knows her when on August 5th, 1965, Alberta, at 34 years old, is found dead in the Ohio River. Oh. It's near Louisville's Sherman-Minton Bridge. Initially, police think her death is due to drowning. You know, I don't know. Maybe they thought she had just jumped. But her car is discovered several blocks from the bridge, and there's a massive amount of blood inside. And then they do the autopsy, and they determine that she had received several severe blows to the head, they think with a brick, before entering the water unconscious and dies from drowning. And it just doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason. The night she died, Alberta's sister, Flora Shanklin, says that her sister had gotten a call from a friend, and that friend had been facing a lawsuit and like asked her to come out and discuss the lawsuit with her. It was like late at night. Alberta was like, I don't want to, but the friend kind of, you know, it was like a girlfriend convinced her to go out. It doesn't seem like there's anything involved with this, but I don't know. Right. And so Flora says the last time she talked to her sister, Alberta was on the couch reading a magazine about the Kennedy assassination, which had happened like 2 years before. And the last thing Alberta said to her was casually, I hope I don't get assassinated. And Flora responded, you don't have to worry about it. You're not the president of the United States. And that just stuck with her. Oh. Yeah. So police investigate the murder. They find witnesses who report having seen a woman being attacked and dragged near the bridge by 3 unidentified men the night Alberta died, which I feel like in 1965, you didn't interrupt stuff like that. I don't know. They just saw it and moved on.
Like they witnessed it and I don't know, ran. They didn't call anybody.
Maybe they're like, this is domestic. I don't want anything to do with this.
3 against 1 is not domestic.
No, who fucking
unless
knows?
You're having, no.
And then strangely, they find her purse 3 years after the murder, hanging from that bridge, the Sherman-Minton Bridge, almost like someone came back to get rid of the purse or tried to give a clue. 3 years later, it shows up, and it has its credit cards inside. All the contents are still on there, the checks, but the purse just shows up. But the case does go cold, and the family is left without answers. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's fast forward to 2013. A first-year student at the Brandeis School of Law. Her name is Lee Remington. In some articles, it's Lee Remington Williams, but the name Lee Remington is just a fucking, you're a cow person. You're a cowgirl and you're fucking fighting the good fight. Right?
Yeah, let's hope so.
She is. So she's like passing through her hallway. She's at her law school. She sees portraits of civil rights leaders, and she notices this photo of Alberta Jones. And she is a big civil rights student. That's like, you know, one of her passions. And she's like, how do I not know who this woman, this black and white photo of this woman with all these other civil rights leaders, how do I not know who this is? And then she looks more into Alberta Jones, and she's shocked to learn about her trailblazing accomplishments and her unsolved murder. So she's shocked about it. None of her classmates had ever heard of Alberta either. So she decides to start writing a biography of Alberta Jones's life to get her more recognition. And she even gets in touch with Jones's sister, Flora, who's now in her 80s.
Oh, wow.
And so Flora tells her all about her sister's death and how she thinks investigators ignored and buried evidence. And she believes that Flora thinks that someone paid the killers to kill her sister, and that law enforcement didn't care about her sister's murder because they were indifferent about the murder of a civil rights activist at the time, which is fair.
Yeah.
For years, police told the family there's not enough evidence to arrest anyone, and that none of the original investigators were even still alive. So it wasn't even worth reopening the case. And so when Lee Remington starts her research in 2013, police tell her that the witnesses in the case are all also dead, and there's nothing to be done.
But Lee Remington gets access to the case file through an open records request and starts reviewing everything. And she discovers that one of the detectives who worked on the case at the time was super young when he was a detective, and he's still alive. They're not all dead. And so she goes and interviews him. And he tells her he was in charge of collecting most of the evidence and writing the case report back during the 1965 investigation, and tells her some details and that there is evidence that was collected, and, like vacuuming the car for any trace evidence and fingerprints and shit. So she's like, this could still be an active case. Then Lee Remington finds that there had actually been a new investigation into Alberta Jones's case back in 2008. Because the FBI had matched a fingerprint found inside Alberta Jones's car to a man who was 17 years old at the time of the murder. Who lived in the area. He's referred to as CJ because he's not an official suspect, so we don't know his name. So Detective Terry Jones of the Cold Case Squad in 2008 had interviewed this man, and this dude CJ can't explain why his fingerprint is in this car and denies killing Alberta Jones. Although, the spot where her car had been found, which was kind of far from the bridge, was just a couple blocks from where he and his friends hung out. And this guy CJ claims he was a bookworm. He had just graduated from high school. He was going to college. And he also said, so Alberta's car at the time was in the shop. So the car that she was driving where they found the blood in was a rental car. And so this guy CJ was like, well, I hitchhiked a lot. So maybe that's why my fingerprint was in the car.
I don't think so.
Stranger things have happened. However, let's dig into this a little more.
Yeah, for real.
So CJ offers to take a polygraph. It's found that he's being deceptive, but he's never charged with anything. And CJ's brother tells reporters that he and CJ had known Alberta Jones and had met her because she was friends with one of their doctors, but they didn't do it. And his brother said he was home with him the night that Alberta was killed. It's fishy. But 2 years after the fingerprint discovery, so it's 2010, prosecutors write a letter to the police chief and let them know that they're not pursuing the case further because there aren't any blood samples from the scene available for DNA testing. There's not more evidence to test.
Right.
Why is there not more evidence to test?
They threw it away.
It's just missing. Her entire evidence box is missing. So although a shit ton of evidence was collected by FBI at the time, fingerprints, vacuum samples from every inch of the car, blood samples, the purse and its contents, her dentures, cigarette butts from the car, her shoes, her clothes, it's all missing.
Whoa. That's a very bad sign.
And I bet it's somewhere. Even if it's legitimately they can't find it, there's always those fucking storerooms and warehouses. But then you always hear about the floods and the fires that destroy evidence, and it's just so we can't do. Yeah.
If there was something much more sinister and calculated about it, then saying that those three people were hired to kill her,
right?
Then they. Then somebody could also have the juice to then make that case file go missing, right? That evidence go missing.
And there are people, that she had issues with. Although everyone loved her, of course, she was a prosecutor, and she was prosecuting men for spousal abuse, which is going to piss some people off. And the people she had to work with in the courthouse also didn't fucking love the idea that they are working with or fighting against a black woman. So they're pissed about it. It's
then there's also her influence on politics and the voter,
right?
Basically that's the power alone of that act.
Yeah.
Is huge.
Yeah. The people that are out there can have issues with her and hire someone. And it's a more complicated case to study, but that's your job if you're an investigator. So,
it's your job.
Right. And the cold case unit says that there's no one involved with the case that's still alive. Again, that's back then in 2008. That's their narrative. But so Lee Remington now finds this letter
and starts to refute each point. She now has over almost 1,600 pages of research that she's uncovered through public records. She's fucking like down this rabbit hole, which is amazing. The most glaring one being that that one of the detectives involved is still alive. So she's like, your argument doesn't make any sense. I found him. You can talk to him.
But also, is that the rule in cold cases? If the detectives who originally investigated are alive, then too bad. Like, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
That you don't have primary sources, but
you can also have their notes and interviews at the time should stand for that.
That's the whole idea of keeping files and having an evidence room, and obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Lee Remington also says that police back in 2008 failed to interview several friends that CJ had mentioned hanging out with, some of who lived, quote, a stone's throw from where the witnesses reported seeing Jones abducted. And she says that CJ should be re-interviewed. People describe CJ as meek and harmless. And actually, Lee Remington says she doesn't think that he's the killer, but she thinks he definitely knows more than he's letting on to.
Yeah, I think they described Ted Bundy as being meek and harmless as well, and attractive. So come on.
And there's also, there's speculation of, what we already talked about, as well as maybe her murder has to do with the contracts she was drawing up for Muhammad Ali's fights, which I haven't seen any, there's no basis for that, but that's just speculation around town. So in 2017...
That seems like pulling the other famous name into the story.
Right. And so, but still, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money writing on this thing.
A lot of money.
Maybe she's fucking with it and they don't like it,
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe she's cutting in a way that's like going to establish a precedent.
Right.
That, it's like everywhere she went, she was actually really powerful.
Yeah.
And young and powerful.
And stirring shit up.
Yep.
Which is great. Okay. So in 2017, Lee Remington Williams, she's now a professor with a PhD. She sends a letter to the chief of the Louisville Metro Police Department requesting that the department reopen the investigation. And so the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice also decides to get involved, and the investigation is funded because there's this new law that had come in, the Emmett Till Unsolved Civil Rights Crime Act, which provides $13.5 million annual funds to the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the state and local law enforcement agencies to investigate and prosecute pre-1970s killings. And of course, Emmett Till is a 14-year-old African-American child who was lynched in Mississippi in 1955 after being wrongfully accused of offending a white woman in her family's grocery store, and his white killers were acquitted. It's just this whole, what's the word?
Travesty of justice.
It's this whole travesty of justice. It's sick. And so now all this money is being put into investigate, crimes like this that should have gone a different way.
Yeah, that should have been investigated and properly prosecuted in a meaningful way.
Exactly. Yeah. So finally, 52 years after her murder, Alberta Jones's case is officially reopened. And this means her case also finally gets recognized by nationwide media outlets like the New York Times, who did this great article about it, and the Washington Post.
Wow.
But so it's reopened. She's finally getting the attention she deserves. And her legacy as a civil rights pioneer and advocate is also finally being recognized as well. So because of the new attention around her case, which is this tragic thing, but also her work is being celebrated. And so, in the fall of 2017, Alberta Jones is honored in a Hometown Heroes ceremony, including a large banner of her photo being hung in downtown Louisville at 6th and Muhammad Ali. And it's this huge, beautiful, photo. A local councilwoman sponsors a resolution to rename a street near Alberta's old downtown office, Honorary Alberta Jones Esquire Boulevard. And there's portraits and plaques of her placed in the county's attorney's office, the University of Louisville Law School, and the library at Bellarmine University, where she attended law school. And a law scholarship at Bellarmine is now named in Jones's honor. And at her high school, Central High School, there's a new law and government magnet program, and the classroom stands as a courtroom, and it's named in her honor.
Oh,
I know.
That's so good.
And there haven't been any new leads, unfortunately, yet in recent years, although the attention that's like being put on this case maybe will make some people want to, confess what they know or finally, talk.
Come forward in some way. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But a sergeant on the Louisville Homicide Department says that the case is still open. And as for Alberta Jones, she has this quote. So people were constantly doubting her, saying, she had gotten home from law school and they're like, you have 2 strikes against you already. You're a woman and you're Black. Like, what do you think you're doing? And she would respond, quote, yeah, but I've got 1 strike left and I've seen people get home runs when all they've got left is 1 strike.
Hell yeah.
And that is the story of civil rights activist Alberta Jones and her tragic murder.
Alberta Jones. That's a name more people should know.
Look her up. I mean, she's fucking... she's light and power and love.
There's so many stories, though, that are like this, where it's the murder of Black people who are making and affecting change in places that need it so badly. Mm-hmm. It's so part of the tragedy is how common this kind of a story is and how much we don't hear about it and how
swept under the rug it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels like in these last 5 months or so, it's people are especially it's white people starting to wake up to the fact that they have this incredibly incomplete education and picture of how this country has been working and how it needs to change.
Yeah.
And also just speaking about this, because Alberta Jones is from Louisville, they still need to arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor.
Fucking straight up murdered.
It has to happen. Everybody knows this case. Her face has been on the cover of Oprah magazine. I mean, it's like this, talk about something I bet you Alberta Jones would get behind in a very meaningful way if she wasn't murdered in the prime of her life,
right,
fighting for the murder of a young woman who was had every one of her rights absolutely.
Yeah, there is no world where you can argue that was not murder from the cop who lied to get that warrant to the cop who fucking signed it knowing that it was incorrect and that the person who they were signing the warrant for had already been arrested that day. To
the number of bullets that were shot into everything going against procedure. I mean, it's so egregious. It's so beyond. Gotta change.
Yeah.
Great job. Beautifully done. I'm so excited that I know who Alberta Jones is now.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's end this by reading some fucking arrays.
This is from Kelsey at this Mrs. Robinson. I have a fucking hooray. Going back to teaching has been one of the most stressful and trying seasons of my life. Not knowing what will happen between
seasons.
She called it one of the seasons of her life.
I love her.
And I bet you she's not over 30 years old. She's definitely still in the spring, winter area.
Yeah.
Okay. Not knowing what will happen between health, safety, mental health, and the status of my job. People insulting and manipulating the situation makes you question if it's all worth it. But this week, I was reminded why I chose this job, the kids. I teach 3-year-olds to 11-year-olds, and they are messaging me how they miss me and love me. I'm reminded that this is a season that will pass and reminded of the kindness in people. Shout out to MFM for highlighting the good, and we can all persevere through these times together. Did you guys hear about the shout out in the Letterkenny episode?
Oh, yeah, I know about that.
Squirrely Dan is a fan too.
Yay.
Hey, good job, Kelsey. Sorry you're in that situation. And it's very smart of you to keep it positive like that.
Yeah. And thanks, Letterkenny, for the shout out.
Thanks, Letterkenny. We talked about that a long time. That's from a while ago, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
What's up, Canada?
What's up, Canada?
Lovely. This is from ConmanBell14 on Instagram. Hi, Karen and Georgia. My fucking hooray I wanted to share with you guys is, as a 24-year-old gay Christian, I recently came out to my parents and hope to soon introduce them to my amazing boyfriend of 3 years. Aww. My message to others is that no matter where you are in your coming out journey, is that you matter, and you are loved both inside and outside of the closet. Thank you, ladies, for doing what you do and for being allies to the LGBTQ plus community. SSDGM Connor. Yay, Connor. That's like double hard gay Christian, but you fucking did it. Like,
he did it.
What an incredible feat.
Yeah.
We're proud of you.
That's awesome. Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah.
Okay. This one's from Victoria. My fucking hooray is that my family and I have been playing an Uno championship since the beginning of lockdown in the UK. We didn't have any idea how long it would last, but we knew we would keep playing until one of us went back to, quote, normal life. My dad went into his office last week, so we finished our 5-month-long championship, and I won.
Yeah!
With a score of 7,342. The losing score was 8,338. Ha ha. It's been such a lovely way to spend our evenings together, especially as I'm going back to university soon and we will be living 3.5 hours away. Thank you, Murder Gals. Love this podcast so much. You're all awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. You are valid. You are supported. Oh, Victoria.
Thank you, Victoria. I needed that.
Gosh, validation support.
Oh, to all the kids going back to school. Fuck. Good luck.
Jesus. Yeah.
I've been really enjoying the university. They all have to go 2 weeks before to like quarantine, and the meals that they've been giving them that are disgusting meals in their dorms. I've been really enjoying those photos. Okay.
I'm enjoying how people are going back. Immediately 58 people get sick and then they cancel in-person classes.
Which they should be doing. Yeah.
They should be doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This one's from Benji Souther. Here's a fucking hooray. Right as COVID started, I found out my best friend had to move from DC to California for work. That night I broke down and told him I had feelings for him. Turns out he felt the same way too, but we'd both been too nervous to say anything because he's a cis straight guy and I'm a trans gay guy, and he wanted to make sure my gender felt respected, and I wanted to be sure his sexual identity felt respected. 3 days.
It's such a modern love story.
I love it. 3 days later, I got COVID symptoms and moved in with him because I had been with my parents and they have heart disease. Long story short, I'm typing this from a hotel room in Western Nebraska on the third morning of our cross-country road trip. And because quarantine time is weird, we're talking about marriage.
Wow.
I can't remember the last time I felt this happy, and I've saved a backlog of MFM for the trip. So you've been there with me for the ride. SSDGM Ben. And I looked, of course, had to fucking sneak and look at the Instagram and it's the cutest. I cried. It's like, it's the best things about social media. It's beautiful.
Yes. That's so lovely. Congratulations.
It's the younger generation. They're gonna.
But the beautiful part of it is that, like, that's such a brave thing to do. Yeah. That's such a strong, brave, kind of like important thing to declare feelings in such a risky situation and such a question mark. It's so beautiful.
I mean, it's like, it's only one life and you get to decide what chances you want to take and are willing to take, whether they're going to work out or not. You get to decide. And like, are you going to regret, when you're fucking 40 that you, like me, you didn't take those chances,
Right. Yeah. That you didn't you calculated that risk.
Yeah.
And you did it right.
And it worked out for you, and we're fucking stoked for you.
Stoked and super jealous, which I think is even better. A better compliment is I kind of hate you a little bit for being so young and strong and modern that you're like, you know what? I'm valid. Of course he'll like me back. Like, where the fuck did you get that? Because that's self-esteem in a nutshell. That's how you build self-esteem. That's how you build it.
That's what Gen X parents give you.
That's right. Because we didn't get any.
You and I had fucking boomers as parents, and they were like, "You're gonna eat that?
A man will never love you if you're a 15
Marry
pounds
well.
overweight.
Marry a rich man. Georgia. Mary, go to college so you can meet a rich man.
Get yourself a doctor. What? Don't you want me to be a doctor? That's not true. My dad would say, get yourself a doctor. My mom would say, no, become a doctor.
Yeah. You know that Cher quote where she goes, my mom always told me to marry a rich man. And I said, Mom, I am a rich man. My fucking favorite. Listen to Cher, whatever you do.
For real. That's a way to live a life right there.
That's right.
She's a badass.
Amazing.
That was a nice batch.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody. Everyone's, in the midst of a real shit time, there are people who are making it work anyway.
And
Congratulations.
Just try a little bit.
That's all you got to do.
We believe in you. Thank you guys for listening. Steven, thank you for helping us in a RV right now in the middle of a desert in Arizona.
I love it if everyone thinks I'm in a desert.
Yeah, that's right.
Steven's in the middle of the desert in an RV.
He's doing Burning Man by himself this year.
Yeah.
How is he engineering on that many drugs?
On the playa?
I'm already on ayahuasca.
Yeah, bring me back some.
That's why you were barfing on mute while we were doing our stories.
I love it. Send us your fucking arrays wherever, and please, thank you guys.
Thank you guys for being there for us. We get lots of stories about you. We're here for you because you're listening to our voices, or it's making you feel better. You guys have changed our lives so much for the better.
I'm gonna cry.
And we literally cannot thank you correctly or properly, especially in quarantine. But we love you. Please know it deep in your heart, and we mean you.
Specifically you.
Specifically you. Yes, the one who thinks it's not you. No,
you're important to us.
Here's another thing I want you to hear. Stay sexy.
And don't get murdered. Goodbye.
Elvis, do you want a cookie?
You know that fantasy where you run into your ex while looking impossibly cute and wildly unbothered? Hill House makes the perfect dress for that moment. Or if you're just running errands. Hill House Home is the brand behind the viral nap dress, known for its signature smocking, ultra-flattering fit, and comfort that makes it a favorite for just about everyone. Celebrities like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Anne Hathaway, and Mindy Kaling have all been spotted in Hill House. These dresses are the definition of versatile, perfect for running errands in the morning and stylish enough for dinner or a party that night. And it's not all they carry. They started with bedding back in 2016, and now you'll find bathrobes, pajamas, children's clothes, and maternity, all with the cutest prints. And it's so true. The hardest time picking out one nap dress because the prints are so dreamy and beautiful. But now that I have it, I'm going to wear it all day, every day. I'm going to throw on my leather jacket at night and look like a total badass. Cowboy boots or cute heels, whatever it is, this nap dress can make it look classy. You look like that classy lady you see at the airport. Hill House makes fun fashion that makes you feel good. Get 15% off your first order of $100 or more at hillhousehome.com with code MURDER15. That's MURDER15 for 15% off at hillhousehome.com. Goodbye. The best time to think about home security is before you need it.
That's exactly why there's Simply Safe.
Traditional home security only alerts you after a break-in has already happened, and that's too late. Simply Safe is changing that.
Simply Safe's US-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them so intruders never get to your house.
The system is customizable so you can build one that fits your home and your specific needs.
The 24/7 professional monitoring is effective and affordable and won't lock you into a long-term contract.
I think that's what's so scary for so many people is that long-term contract. And what if it turns out you don't like it or need it, but they don't have that because they know you'll like it and you'll know that you need it and feel so much safer when you have it. At this point in my life, I would never go without a security system on my house. I just feel safer with actually having Simply Safe around.
There's a whole staff at Simply Safe that's waiting to talk to you and help you out. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/MFM.
That's half off at simplysafe.com/MFM.
There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Goodbye. Cheap Caribbean's Jet Set July sale is here.
Right now, save $200 on vacation packages of 4 nights or more with promo code 200BEACH.
Whether you're dreaming of Cancun, Jamaica, or the Dominican Republic, your next vacay just got more affordable.
Don't let summer pass you by without the beach.
Use promo code 200BEACH and get more sand for your dollar.
Head to cheapcaribbean.com today to book your beach vacay.
Goodbye.